interface. Yeah, so for this one we have our learning outcome, which include at the end of this lecture you should be able to describe the SPSS interface, the data view and the variable view, which is the one of the video that I shared today. Then understand how to enter data in SPSS, determine how to import external data into SPSS. We're also going to learn how to clean and edit data, then understand how to get descriptive statistics. So what are the uses of SPSS? SPSS can be used for data management. SPSS can be used for data management. Just confirm if I'm audible. Okay, great. Yeah, when we talk about data management, these will include defining variables. Remember we talked about variables. The data that we are correcting can be the variables. So yeah, the data that we are correcting are the variables. For instance, we can look at gender, economic, maybe income level. Those are variables. So when you enter those variables in SPSS, you need to define them. SPSS can also be used for coding values. Remember, for categorical variables, those that can be put in categories, we need to put them in numbers. We need to code them, to assign codes to the categories. If we are looking at variables like gender, we have two categories, male and female. So you need to assign codes where you say 1 to represent male and 2 to represent female. You assign codes. You can enter data in SPSS and edit. Okay? You can also create new variables. If there's variables that were not added, you can add them. Okay? You record these variables and you can select cases when you want to analyze data. For instance, you just want to include certain, maybe they are missing data, then you want to exclude those people with missing information. You just want to select those ones that meet the criteria for your research or your data. So you need to select cases. That's what it means. So number 2, SPSS can be used for data analysis. Okay, we have different type of statistics that we can learn. So what I was saying, that number 2, SPSS can be used for data analysis. So we have different type of statistics that we can learn. We have univariate statistics, where you just have a few variables or one variable. Then we have bivariate statistics. We have two variables that you want to analyze and see how they correlate or the association between them. Then you have multiple variate statistics. These include multiple variables. Okay. Then opening SPSS as a first step as you start data analysis. SPSS can be opened like any other file or app or application on your computer. The same way you open Word, the same way you open Excel, you just double click on the icon SPSS on the desktop. So for me, my SPSS is pinned in the taskbar. So I just double click here, then it will be able to open for me. Okay, so this is my SPSS. Okay, So or you can go to start the program. Okay, you can go to start the program. Let me just remove this one. Okay, you can go to start the program in Windows, then you go to SPSS and you'll be able to open. Okay, so when you open SPSS, you should be able to see this screen. You should be able to see something like this. So this is what I was showing you. When you open SPSS, this is what we are seeing here. You should be able to see something like this. Okay, seems like there are a lot of tabs opened, so let me close some of them so that we remain with one. Okay, I need to close this one. Okay, let me close this one so that we remain with only one that we are going to use. Oh, have closed the main. Okay, yeah. So when you open SPSS, this is how it is going to look like. Okay, yeah. So this is what you are going to see. So it has some tabs that are similar with these other software that we are using, like Word, files, Excel, and so on. Just that SPSS, if you can see, there are some few other things that are added SPSS. We have data analyze. I've analyzed here, just here. This is where you go when you want to analyze data, and you are going to find different type of statistics. If you want to do reports, if you want to do descriptive statistics, under descriptive statistics we have all these frequency descriptive, we have explore, we have cross tabulations. We learn about all these later on. Then you have the tables, you have compare means. In case you want to do the t-test, the independent sample t-test, the paired sample t-test, or one way ANOVA, we have all these. Then we have other different type of test. Maybe you want to deal with multiple responses, where maybe you tell the participant to select maybe more than one response. We have these multiple responses, and where you go when you have complex data, we have this one. Okay, so this is just a tab for data analysis, one of the important tab for data analysis, and also for editing here. In case you want to edit, you want to insert a variable, just like you want, if you are writing on Excel, you want to add another column, you can do that. You can add cases in case you want to add another row as you are writing. You can come here and add those things. So we have all these functions that are here. We have the variable, we have the view. Okay, we'll show you later on this one how it works, because now we don't have data. Okay, so but the most important, when open SPSS, this is how it's going to look like. So the most important thing that we need to learn today is this interface. Okay, this interface, the variable view. Okay, the variable view. So this variable view is the place to enter variables. This is where you enter variables. You list all of your variables. Okay, and the characteristics of all variables. So here, when you look at this SPSS that we have here, you can see this is the variable view. when you go down there, you see the variable view. This is the variable view for SPSS, okay? And now we say each variable, you have to list all the variables here. So in the variable name, you put the variable of your interest. So for instance, you are correcting, maybe let me say you corrected the demographic information of people. You corrected, let's try to do this. You corrected, maybe let's say gender. You're going to enter it here, okay? You corrected age, it's going to be entered here. You corrected education level, okay? It's going to be entered here. You corrected, let me say, income level, okay? It's going to be entered here. So you list all your variables here, okay? You're gonna list all your variables here. Oh, sorry, I'm not on variable view. I went to another case, okay? I'm not on the variable view. We need to go to the variable view. Yeah. So variable type, we say this is where we enter your variable. So we say age, you enter it here. Gender, if you corrected information on gender, you enter it here. Education level, you enter it here, okay? Income, can enter. So here you put the list of your variables. You put all the list of variables in the data view. That's where you put the list of the variables in the data view, okay? You put your list and you put the characteristics of all the variables. So the characteristics of the variable, a variable is going to have a name, okay? That is the first characteristics. A variable is going to have a name. You enter the name here. Then a variable is going to have type, okay? What type of variable is this? So let's go to SPSS again. So the type of variable, if you can see here, it's putting numeric. So there are all these other type of variables. It can be a comma, okay? What type of variable is this? It can be a comma, it can be a dot, it can be a scientific notation, it can be a date. If you are entering date here, you have to show that this is date, and SPSS will be able to recognize that variable as a date. If you are dealing with currents, you can enter the currents, the string variables. Then from there, you come to the width is telling us about the it's telling about how long, or the length of the variable name that you have put, how many characters is it going to have, okay? So you can choose here. Then the decimal places, so if you see these are numeric variables, and these decimal places, they show us that each variable is going to have 2 decimal places. So if you want to reduce the decimal places, you can come here. For instance, you are looking at gender. Gender will not have decimal places. And if for age, for instance, we just want to mention the exact age, like you are aged 29, you are aged 25, someone is aged 24, we don't want to put decimals, so we have to reduce to 0. For gender also, we don't have decimals, we reduce to 0. Level of education is also a nominal, no, it's a categorical variables under ordinal variable. So there is no decimal places, you reduce it to 0. Then for income, maybe you want to include some decimal places, maybe you want to round off to 2 decimal places. If you say someone is earning 5,022 ngwe, so you need to put 2 decimal. Or if you want to round the whole salary to a whole number, you reduce to 0. Okay, are we together? Let me get confirmation if you're on the same page. Hello? I'm not able to get you if you are there. Are you there?
Yes, I'm there. Oh, you were breaking.
Oh, I was breaking. Think it could be some network. Okay. Then on the label, this is another character. The characteristics of variables. On the label, you need to tell SPSS what these variables you have put here, what do they mean. So for gender, we know that we mean, for age, we mean age. Maybe we can say age. Yeah, we can just say age. So now, SPSS under the name was not able to recognize what this age means, but now since you have put on the label that age means age, SPSS is able to recognize that actually we are talking about the age. Okay, then we have for gender, you also put gender here. Okay, so for the naming of the variables, they can be different from the labels. You see, here we have used the full names, but sometimes when you are correcting, maybe there are those where you have a question which was asking maybe someone to say, what is your level of education, what is what. So here you put a short name that you will be able, someone can be able to recognize, but you won't write maybe the full question. So that's why we have labels here to summarize or to mention what we mean by these names that we have put here. Okay, then from there we have the values. So now this is where you tell SPSS what the values mean. So for instance, if we are saying that 1 for gender, now let's try for gender, 1 represent female, you are going to put female here. Okay, you are going to put female here as 1. Then you go on add. Then 2 is going to be male. Okay, male, you go on add. So SPSS now will be able to recognize um, that where in a gender, where there is a variable gender, when you enter 1, it's going to recognize that, oh, this is female. When you enter 2, it's going to say this is male. Okay, so you say okay. So now if you say okay, I just want to show you something. Let's go where there is gender. We are going to put 1. Okay, we're going to put 1, and you can see there is even a drop down menu which is going to come. There will be a drop down menu coming here to indicate female and male. So when you just put 1, you have seen that it will automatically put female. Then we can put, let me do this. Yeah, go to view. When you go to view, we want to label. Okay, so you have seen that now you have put 1. So I'll put it 2. I'll change to 1. Just putting these variables so that you can see what happens now. Okay, yeah, so we have put these variables. So now these cases. Okay, so if you go on view and you go to value labels, it will show you that we have put female, male. You have seen what is happening. Great. So you do the same for all the variables that are categorical. If you want even age, you can put it in category. For instance, we are looking at maybe we want to recruit people that range from 20, maybe 18 to to above 30. So put them in categories. We say one will represent 18 to 25. Okay. Then 2 is going to represent 25, no, 26 to 30 years. Okay. Then 3 is going to represent 30, 31 to 35. Then 4 is going to be above 30. Okay, above 30. We put add. Then you say okay. Okay. Then you go to level of education. You can also put like you want to say maybe 1 you want to mean primary, or first you can say no formal education. Okay, no formal education. 2 want to put primary education. 3 want to put secondary. Okay, secondary education. Then 4 gonna be tertiary education. Four is gonna be tertiary education. Then I think I've the spelling for tertiary, that's not how it should be written. So you go to spellings, it will be able to show you which one are wrong spelling. So there is somewhere where we made, yeah, there is this one. We wrote education. There is no A, so it has bring the suggested one. Then you can go on change. Okay, again we try to check if there is somewhere. Okay, yeah, tertiary is saying no spelling error found. Yeah, but there should be a spelling error somewhere. Okay, so it's not the correct spelling. Yeah, so that is not a correct spelling, but SPSS should be able to recognize that this is not a correct spelling. Okay, then yeah, income level, you can also put it in categories. Those that are earning maybe 1,000 or less than 1,000, those that are earning 1,000 to 2,000, you just like that. Then you go on missing values. So these missing, the missing one. So for instance, you are correcting data maybe on gender, and someone have not put gender, okay, in the questionnaire or wherever or whatever tool you are using to correct data. Someone have not put gender, so that one is going to be recognized as a missing value. So you need to put a value which is going to be realized, okay, as a missing value. So here you can choose a value that is not close to the values that you have put in the value table here. These 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It should not be close to these ones so that you don't confuse them, or it should not be near to any of the values in this line. You have seen this one ends on 2. So if we say missing value for female and male becomes 3, then you are going to confuse it when you are looking at age, because when you go to age you find that 3 is not a missing value. So you're going to confuse it age. And actually the missing value, the missing value, or the value that represent the missing information, should be uniform across all the variables. So for instance, we can choose to put 99. Okay, we can choose to put 99 as the missing value, so just put 99 here. Okay, they usually put 99, so you say okay. Also here you can put 99. So wherever there is a missing value, you are going to put 99. Okay, if someone did not put the information about that variable, so SPSS will be able to recognize that this 99 means missing value. For instance, here on gender, if we want to, we can put 99. Okay, then SPSS is going to recognize this 99 as a missing value for this participant number 7. Okay, it's going to know that this value was missing. And let's try to put the age here. What do we have? Age, we have this one. Laptop society. Okay, just try to, laptop is not responding. Okay, great. 1, 4, 2. I'm just putting this randomly as if I was correcting data, even when there is no data that I was correcting, just for the purpose of learning. Yeah, so when you go on, let's also try to put on education, because actually we had put some values on education. We have tertiary, we have 2 year, and there is no 5 there. Okay, have 3. I'm just putting this one as examples. Okay, so that means now we have entered. So for this participant number 1, if you check on the values, you find that the participant number 1 was aged 18 to 25 years. This was female and had no formal education. You go to participant number 2, was aged 26 to 30. This was female. The level of education was tertiary. 18. The third one is 18 to 25, female, who had primary level of education. So this is how now you are entering variables. So what we are doing here is actually what we are saying when we say the SPSS can be used to define variables. So we have defined these variables, what they mean. Okay, then when you come to align, you just choose where do you want your variables to. And this is more like you just want maybe the variables to be at the center or to be at left. So now look at this, we have put this one to be at the right side. So when you go to this one, you should be able to put them at the left side. So yeah, that was the edge, right? So you can see that the values are aligned at the left side of the column instead of the right side, like the way others are, which are aligned at the right side. Then another characteristics of the variable is the scale of measurement. What scale of measurement are you going to use to measure these variables? So we have different scale of measurements. So when you look at the one that are available here, we have a scale These are for continuous variables or the counts. If you are counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to whatever level you are counting, if you are measuring height, you are measuring BP, you are measuring um, you are measuring whatever you are measuring weight and so on. So that is a scale. You put scale as the measurement. Then yeah, we have also what we call ordinal. So ordinal are those variables that have categories, and the categories can be put in order. Okay, in order. Okay, the categories can be put in order. So that is the ordinal kind of variable. Okay, let me just try to these people that are trying to call me. Okay, so now let's look at this one. I want to hear it from you. Gender, the way we have put this one, can we say is ordinal or nominal? Nominal are those that do not have order. Okay, the categories that don't have order. So like this one, the age, the way we have arranged it, can we put it under ordinal or nominal variable?
Mm. Uh, but there's no that too much order.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so this one actually is ordinal because you can see we are starting from the youngest group, which is 18 to 25, then followed by this group, followed by this other group. So this is actually ordinal variable. Okay, this is ordinal. So for age, you are going to put ordinal as a scale of measurement. Then let's look at gender. Do we have order in which gender occur? Can we put order for gender? Look at gender. Can we say there is an order? When we say female and male, is there an order? Okay, can you arrange this one in order? Like starting from the smallest or yeah, or the lowest or the yeah, just like that. Can you put this category in order?
I can't really answer it, sir, because I'm just following it the way you are taking it now, because I'm not even doing any practices as of now. I doesn't have haven't yet downloaded this app. So
Okay, yeah, but my question, we are looking at the type of variables. So he said there are those type of variables that you can put in order, right? For
yes,
instance, we are looking at education level. Education level have high ranks. There is certificate, diploma, master's degree before you go to masters, and a PhD, just like that. You have seen there is that order. Then there are variables that we cannot put in order. For instance, gender. You cannot. We are all equal. That what according to the human rights, male and female, we are all equal. There is no difference. Okay. You can't put them in order. You can't rank them. So that is the meaning. You cannot put these variables in order. So that is the meaning that we are trying to establish here. So for female and male, when we put one, it doesn't mean that females are more important or are greater than female. or male. And when we put male, when we put 2 for male, it doesn't mean that male are less or more important than female. This is just numbers that are assigned. They literally means nothing in terms of order. Okay? Is it clear? Yeah. They literally mean nothing in terms of order. But when you look at education level, the way we have arranged them, there is a meaning to each variable in terms of order. So this one, you choose a nominal as a scale. It doesn't have order. Education level, we said education level have order, so you can put it in order. You put ordinal. Income level, we can also put in order, because there are those people that are earning less and people that are earning more. So it can be in order in case we want to categorize it. So this is how you define the variable. So we have defined the variable. We have put a variable name, the type of the variable, the width, the decimal places, the label, the values, and so on. So for instance, if here we change on the decimal place, I want to put maybe 2. Okay, if we change on the decimal place, see what is going to happen. For gender, we have put decimal place to be 2. So yeah, I mean for age. So if we go now to the side for age, okay, I don't know, the taskbar is trying to disappear. Okay, I need to remove these guys. Okay, if we go to variable for age, you see that this age now, it should have okay, these were were actually, yeah. So let's do this. Go to variables. You have seen that now age have decimal places, right? It has 2 decimal places. Each variable, it has 2 decimal places for age. So that's what we mean when we talk about decimal places. Yeah, so yeah, actually now that is the variable view. The variable view. I think we are done about the variable view. We have talked about then the data view. The data view, when you go on SPSS, the other side where we have been coming, so this is variable view, then this other side is the data view. Okay, the data view. This other side is the data view. So the rows represent cases or observation, that is the objects on which data have been corrected. So each row represent a case or observations. So when we are talking about the case, we're talking about individual or object from which the data have been uh, obtained. So for instance, if you are collecting data from people, so each row is going to represent an individual or a person, a data from the person. As you can see, number 1, we want to put data of the first person. So put the gender, we put the age, we put the education level, the income level, and so on. Whatever variable that we are interested to get from that person is going to be put here. The second person will put also these variables about this person. So each row here represent a case or an individual, an observation or object which we are extracting our data. Okay, so if maybe we are looking at the students, if we have 50 students where we are getting data and we want to look at their performance, so we are going to have about 50 rows here, and for each student the mark is going to be recorded. So maybe let me say here we put the uh, the the mark or the score for each student in this column. So for each row we are going to put the marks or the test score here for all the students. Okay. Okay, so let's continue. We go to, yeah. So columns